Check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yes, we built all that you just saw there. We made it happen. The Crypto Lifer brand continuing to push every single day. God bless everybody here. Thank you for pushing it to the limit. 113,000 for Bitcoin. We just got back into good graces. Can we get the move? Let's get that music back up and running. I won't blow up your ears. I got the level down. Sometimes I bring it in and it just blah, right? Blah. But shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being amazing. Let's break down Bitcoin like we do every single day. God bless everybody here for being here. My name is Sam Price, the Crypto Lifer. Welcome to the show, baby. Let's go. Yes. Yes. I love this show more than anything in the world, baby. Let's go. Sorry, I'm just so motivated to keep it going, baby. Yes, yes, yes. All right. I think I got it out, but I just had such a burst of energy for this show. So I'm in a long right now for Bitcoin. I got a BTC USD and a Bitcoin USDT trade open here on MEXC. I love MEXC. Lowest fees of the game. I keep funds on MEXC, right? And so shout out to everybody here that's trading with the Lifer. May God bless each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. We are going over a live trade that I'm in right now. And it looks to me like the 15-minute will finally begin to produce some type of gain here. We've been in what I call a bullish rectangle going up and down for the last few hours. However, the stochastics RSI has reset yet again. And can we finally get above this resistance that we've poked at? 1, 2, 3, barely 4, 5, 6 times now in the last hour. You keep hitting a key area, you're bound to break it, right? So come on. Let's hit this key area one more time. 113,003. Bust through. Or do we keep getting this weird rejection? And so this has been price action literally since, for the last, since 3 in the morning. It's been completely sideways here. Just doing cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha, doing the cha-cha. So we need better price action for sure. I'm not a fan of exactly what I'm seeing. And I'd like it to push further to the upside here, baby, and make it happen. It's been an annoying few hours here watching this trade go sideways, I'll tell you that. But it is what it is. Trading is not always perfect. And Sammy's going to drink a little coffee today and get some caffeine fiend. I drink coffee like once every 3 weeks. I don't remember the last time I had it. I think it was 3 weeks ago. I wasn't even in the state. Shout out to all the beautiful people here on the live. If I do, I dabble with decaf like once maybe, but it's rare. I'm not a coffee guy. I don't need coffee. God gave you enough energy, you don't need coffee. People are like, I have to have my coffee. You don't have to have anything. You're ready to go the second you wake up in the morning with the energy God gave you, baby. So Bitcoin, do I take my profits? And I've been asking this. They whipped me down last time. I had barely nothing. I was up $1,000 here. They've been playing games with the price action. And I've been just kind of sitting pretty here, putting my stop loss to break even, saying, hey, I can't lose, but it would stink for them to bing me and fling me. You know what I'm saying? Which can happen. But I don't even mind those because at least I don't lose. And they can take a funding fee all they want or a fee there, but everything else doesn't really bother me. Let's take a look at the bigger picture for Bitcoin. I was looking at DeepSeek. I don't know much about it. Remember when it first came out? It's got a very low market cap, so it sketches me out. But I just love when I see consolidation above the 200 moving average on the 21. I mean, it's just too. But again, I don't own any of this, and it doesn't matter to me. And I shouldn't even. To me, it's too low to trade. Like, I personally probably can't touch it because it's just too small. But anyway, it's been on the radar for a while. DeepSeek, but maybe it's probably absolutely nothing. I'm just going over how I look at stuff. So, like, maybe not every time I see something it's worth it because I got to look at the market cap. I got to look at the fundamentals. So just because it looks nice on the TA-wise, there's also some other things you got to take into account. And I want to make that clear because I am a TA guy. If you gave me 100 stocks and told me they were all great, like you already told me, you said these 100 stocks all have good volume, they're well-known companies, and boom. Then I wouldn't even ask you. I would just look at the TA all the time. But if I don't know when I look at the TA looks good, I got to do an analysis on what what I'm looking at there. So shout out to all the beautiful people here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Shout out to Eternal Street Fam. God bless. Shout out to Moonlit in the house. Shout out to Lauren Flippo. Shout out to JBH. Shout out to Nunya Biz. I love that. Nunya Biz. Yeah. Keep It Real Since podcast in the house. GF Burke, Michael Chatterton, Dylan Bronson. It's a solid name right there, Dylan. Shout out to all my beautiful people. Vegas Claw in the house. I think I seen a Crypto Billy around the internet today. let's take a look at BTC in the long term. I look at it every single day and kind of break down what I see happening to see if I'm missing something, if there's a probability that my subconscious mind could pick up that I've looked at for years. And every day changes from all the information that I've stored in my brain. So think about it, thousands and thousands of data. You do TA. Over and over again, the repetition sets in the brain. And you start kind of Googling through your brain, really, right? Sequestering data. So here's the deal. We're in this little bullish rectangle. As far as I'm concerned on the 1 hour, I would have liked a pop by now. Come on, Bitcoin. It could easily be a Bart Simpson and dump right to the downside. It doesn't look amazing. We have a resistance at 113,300, 113.5 on the wick for BTC. Bigger picture is that we could break out of this falling wedge to the upside. We're going to break all this down for you and not spoil it as we go. So the monthly candle close is coming. In just a few days, it looks like it's going to be, it might be, was it Saturday night? Yeah, Sunday night. So we get a weekly candle close on the monthly candle close, which is awesome. It saves me a stream. I get to double up. So the monthly candle is on the weekly candle close, which also adds a lot of volatility to this weekly candle close. It's like a double whammy. It has a lot of importance to it, right? So this monthly candle, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not a fan of it closing tweezer tops, meaning two long wicks next to each other with the secondary candle being red. I'm not a fan of that. Every time we've had that fine. This time we did have a tweezer top. Somehow we maintained one move, but eventually we did pull back. Here was a tweezer top. It gave us months of sideways price action. Here was a tweezer top. We had to pull back. Here was a tweezer top, pull back, tweezer top, pull back, tweezer top there, pull back. Even tweezer top right there, pull back. And this is on the monthly, so that's 2-3 months of pump. 5 months of dump, 2-3 months. That's like 10, 20 months, 15 months. November 21st to January. That's like 2 years. Dang near. A year and a half. Yeah, a year and a half. A year and some months. But anyway, so you look at this closely and you're like, man, yeah, I see what you're saying, Sam. So I don't go by like 1,000 people's ideas. You don't even have to watch 1,000 videos. Literally, sit with me right now. When the red candle closes next to the green candle, it's not a good sign. Okay. Can I have my banana now? You know what I mean? Like, we don't have to be rocket scientists. Like, people think trading is like this super hard, complex. You have to be the smartest guy in the room. You actually have to be the dumbest guy in the room. I find the smarter people have trouble trading. I had to dumb it down. I'm not saying I'm that smart because I don't want to talk myself up. I think I'm probably pretty regular when it comes to IQ. Like, you know what I mean? There's people far smarter than me all over the world, 100%. I'm regular Joe Schmo. But what I do is I did it every day. And your brain will start to, basically neuroplasticity. You will change the way your brain works over time. And I talk about it a lot, but I'm telling you, it really will happen. You don't believe it at first because the brain you have before you've changed is the brain that's uncertain, is the brain that doesn't believe you're going to be a millionaire, the brain that's like in between. You've had so many ups and downs, you've been shattered, and the programming is hard. But we're going to break that programming down every single day. And before you know it, 2-3 years from now, you're going to be like, man, I'm a crypto lifer now. I'm not that same person that came to that stream that day that clicked on that link because I was a guy that clicked on a link one day and it changed my whole life. So the monthly, I do not want to see the monthly candle close like that. It's not going to be a good look, period. In my humble opinion, that could foretell a head and shoulder pattern, right? And the rally could finally start. You got to start thinking this through. This could be the top of the rally. Tweezer tops of the monthly are not amazing. A lot of people think I'm insane. It's just possible. I'm not saying, I think maybe there's a 20-30% chance, but it's possible. It's not 100% that we're going to the upside. People want you to believe that on CryptoX, on X.com, CryptoX, but yeah, on CryptoX now. People want to believe that on CX, but it's just not the case. Anything is possible in this beautiful world. If we can go up, we can go down. As beautiful as it knows, I'm willing to believe the pump is in, right? And I'm stacked. I'll take a hit. I'll take a $500,000 hit if Bitcoin dumps and the altcoins dump for sure. Maybe more, I won't sell, but it will, an unrealized loss yet again. Maybe I will take the loss for, harvesting, but dang. So up to $184,000 would be the target if we get this beautiful move to the upside. And that's just wick to wick. the measured move, right? Which would make sense if you dull it down a little bit. But you could just say, okay, maybe we just go this like first little leg. Still says you could get somewhere to about 160K. So Bitcoin's looking bullish to me. But I really want to see this monthly candle change. And I don't know. I mean, we got 4 days for Bitcoin to really make a new all-time high. It's possible. I've seen insane. Bitcoin has done crazier stuff before, right? So, like, it's not impossible. But now we're getting to the point where we have the have-tos. And whenever I'm in a time and it has to do something, it's usually not the best. And look, struggling again and rejected again by the same area. Been a struggle to hold this trade. This has been a tough couple of days. I told you I sold that last time I sold $1,000 in front of you guys on the live stream. That was the last time we traded this exact account. Same exact thing. I'm about to just call it a day. They almost got me at this wick though, and I didn't capitulate. Now they got me again. It's like, it's been, and you are, I'd like to leave with something, I'll get back in it a bit. I'm just not loving what I'm seeing here. I'm taking what I listen to. I'm going to close one. Sad to say. Whatever. It's a win. I shouldn't say that. It's a win, man. It's a win. It's a bigger win, right? It's more money than I had in the account. But the thing is moving so fast, I can't get out. Look at this. Come on, man. I don't want to mark it out. I'm trying to do there we go. And now this one looking like it'll probably just get stopped out at break even. But I'm gonna sit because I'm just, I'm stubborn today. I'm not going to let them take me out. I'm acting super stubborn. Anyway, live trading on MEXC. If you want to check it out, we have links in the description. We also have links to other exchanges as well that I like, which is Weeks, BitTinex, and BTCC. Let's take a look here at what's happening for Bitcoin. I'm going to continue this top-down analysis for BTCC, for Bitcoin, for BTC. So we're looking at the monthly. I'm just telling you, I want to tell you before it happens. So I'm not the guy that jumps on the bandwagon when everyone's bearish. I'm saying, listen, I was showing you this on the monthly. I was telling you that the monthly did not look amazing. Then we look at the 1 week chart. And to me, the 1 week has to get back inside this trend line. And like I said, this has to turn into a wick. We have to boom back inside. Otherwise, that is a bearish retest of the trend line. I've been very true to my trend lines throughout my trading career now. The past 10 years, really hard about when we lose and gain one. And to me, the weekly there has lost a trend line. It is what it is. The only good thing I see coming, is that the monthly didn't. If you look at the monthly, fine. You can say the trend line's still intact to the monthly. But on that weekly, that has lost the trend. It is what it is. And I'll tell you, dabbling with your trends, one day being no, this is okay, but this is all right. I think this is the trend. Or being this is the trend, or, trying to find trends that you believe or you make up, or it can be treachery. To me, candle bodies touching, don't play games. You know where the trend is. Don't make it where you want it to be. Make it where it's got to be. You know what I mean? There's a way to do it. Anyway, that has saved me in the long run, and a lot of people don't do it because you got to be a stickler. You got to be very disciplined about how you do everything in your life. Very good about cleaning, highly detailed. This has to be, you can't let little things slide. I know you think this is insane, let me tell you, because inside the deep consciousness of my mind, there's been hundreds of trades in my life that I've cut off because we've lost a trend. And the price action has dumped. Yeah, a couple times it's been a trap, right? A couple times. Maybe I'd say 5%, 6% of the time. Most of the time, man, that thing's going to do what it's going to do. This candle closes out here tomorrow or on Sunday, and it's somewhere near the 21, and we get a dump. It's very likely the next candle breaks you down to 100,000. And then you got to start thinking, is this a head and shoulder pattern? We're not there yet right now, okay? We're not there yet, but my mind's already played the game of chess. This is a chessboard, okay? I don't want to draw a chessboard, but you get it, right? The wackiest chess. But this is a chessboard, man, and I'm here. the market maker or the market is there, and I'm thinking, which way can the market move? Can it make a head and shoulder? Can it bounce off? Is it going to make an inverted here and make an ascending triangle? What is the market going? I don't know. If I tell myself I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance, I'm able to handle the market because I do whatever the market tells me to do. If I tell myself I know what's happening and I know exactly what's going to happen, I'm going to get chewed up. My mindset is every single part of my success in trading, but mindset comes from learning that the TA is better than logic that you own. Do not do what you think is good. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say and do should be taken as financial advice. But the second you start to think, or I think this is what's trying, I'm watching students and like, I think this is what's going to happen. And I try not to chuckle to myself, man. I'm like, oh God. And I shouldn't, but you know what I mean? I try to be like, oh, not even chuckle. Sometimes I'm just like, please, dear Lord, no. You know, like I'm honestly scared for that person's portfolio when I hear them talk like that. Like I'm generally insanely concerned. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like that's someone who's standing near a rapid waterfall and is telling me that they might be able to walk across. And I'm like, no, man, you can't. I think I can get across, he tells me. And I say, no, you're going to get swept away by those rapids. You need to have more skills and a better plan. That's not going to happen. You see what I'm saying? So please, if you're going to trade, find a system, find the education first. I teach a class the last Saturday of every month. This beautiful class right here is awesome. I get so many good reviews from it. Every time I teach it, there's someone that sends an email, sends a super chat on the next day on the live and says this class was amazing. I've had people say I've never traded well, and it wasn't really much of a trader. After your class, I implemented your stuff that afternoon and began to pull, some green out the market. I've seen it's just I can't believe what I've seen. So anyway, that's what they've told me. I'm not even, but it's a great class. It's this Saturday. Jump on into class. It's $150. I think it's the least expensive way to get this information. People are charging $2,000 to $3,000, and then they'll divvy it up into like a 3-week course and stuff like that. I took them all. I spent all that money, and I'm regurgitating all that back to you for a very, very small amount. So jump on in. It's a live course with me. You can record it. You get a PowerPoint with all of my tips, tricks, and what I do, why I go into trades, what I'm looking for before I get into a trade, and proper risk management as well. You learn proper risk management maybe for the first time in your life. So the weekly, let's move forward back down to the 5-day chart. Not looking amazing. Dion, I don't like that 5-day candle. It is not an awesome candle. It's outside of the range. It's just not. 3-day is the only thing that I'm starting to be like, okay. Because we got a 3-day, we get tweezer bottoms on the 3-day, but we got it here and it didn't seem to matter. It wasn't a bullish engulfer though, so I'll give it to him. And then it brings me to the daily, which I'm bullish on the daily right now. Oversold in the stochastics, a double bottom, a bullish divergence, RSI's in a good spot. MACD's in a great place, looking like it's ready to turn. And to me, we're just kind of right at the top of this channel. And you can see they let this go and it's going to be a boom. So it's almost like somebody's holding price right now because they're just like, oh, that's going to create a frenzy if it gets let, because it's going to break a trend line. And I do see this. I see a shoulder, head, right shoulder. Someone would say, Sam. Now, I think this is a great question that I think someone has to be asking right now. I think I would be asking this, and I want to ask you guys in the chat, and I want you to ask these types of questions. After I ask this, I'm going to deep dive into the chat. Someone would say, Sam, how do you deal with the fact that you just seemed so bearish, but yet you're telling me the daily can pump and you're in a long? And I tell them because price action is a puzzle piece, okay? If you looked at the bigger idea and you had all the pieces of the puzzle, okay, you'd have the daily here, the weekly, and they'd each throw a percentage into the pie, okay? And now in my subconscious mind has seen when the weekly was a little overbought and the daily was overbought, but yet the daily came reset, price action stayed strong, and then at the end of the weekly we had a huge pump and the daily went. I've seen so many basically push push and pulls to this puzzle. And I've seen all the different tells. Yeah, not all of them, I can't say that, right? But many different tells from different places. And so what I do now is I'm like, okay, check weekly, this, or, where I don't want. But then I'm like, yep, but I have seen the daily turn it around. So I give the daily, this took a long time for my brain to be able to accept. I had to really break down all my preconceived notions of how I felt about myself, the world, because I had to become very open-minded as a person. And, not everybody's born that way. We're all born a little preconceived, a little more, and I still probably am. I'm not trying to say I'm free of everything. I'm not Mr. Perfect here. I just know that I broke down many mental walls, maybe, and you do too. And we're going to teach you how to break down these mental walls, because that's how you become free as a trader. That's how you be able to kind of walk on water, so to speak, and that's life or vision. That's what everyone says when they say life or vision. If you've ever come to this channel and you're like, this guy's got life or vision, or you want that life or vision. They'll be able to see the trade so clearly that no emotions come through at all. And that's why I really want you to read Trading in the Zone. It's an audiobook by Mark Douglas. It's free on YouTube. You'll find it. Just write Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. It'll change your life if you stick to what he teaches and talks about. And these are older traders that mentored me and got me to a better position mentally. I needed it, everybody. I grew up in Boston fighting, screaming, you know what I mean? It was insanity. ADHD, So I needed to come and quiet my mind. I needed to find a place in my brain where I could learn. And I needed to quell the emotions that were so strong, they almost fought my ability to learn. Okay? And I think that's because what they do is they want to get you so emotional that you cannot learn. When you're full of emotions, it's very hard to pull in the information. 100%. You'll misinterpret a lot of things too due to feelings. We gotta be in logic when we want to learn how to trade. Very important. That's why who you are and what you're going through has everything to do with you learning this information. And see, I learned the hard way that trading is not just the charts. It has everything to do with the mind. So we were looking for this inverted head and shoulder on the daily time frame. That's the possible move here that I'm looking for. Okay? And look, I'm staying strong in these trades. Let's go back. Meanwhile, during all of this, I'm in a live trade, right? And I'm going to stay strong in this trade here. We're back inside the pattern. I may add to the other. I may open up the other one again if we kind of stay where we're at. So I kept the stop loss above break even, 279 on the trade. We want to see if this thing could pump. Get to 115 and make us some gains, baby, gains. It's $5,900 at, if I could see at 10x leverage. Is that all it is? Yeah, at 10x leverage. All right, making it a $59,000 trade, right? So there you go. We'll see where this one goes, baby, for Bitcoin. So I'm staying long for BTC. It's been sloppy, though, and it hasn't been easy. Let's get back to the bigger picture. So we're looking for the daily to at least close green today. That would be a bullish engulfing candle. It would eat up yesterday's high, and that would be a bullish sign. So if the candle can just close here, and it likely might just go back and forth for the rest of the day till 8 o'clock. Let's talk about the data. Let's talk about what came in today and how price action reacted when we get back to that 1 minute time frame. It's going to be fun. So let's move forward to the 22 and the 12. They both look very bullish, oversold, looking for the bounce above the 200 moving average. Bullish sign. Back above the 200. Bullish sign. You get above the 200 moving average on the 22-hour time frame. Look at the last time we did that. It began a massive move to the upside. Could have entered right there with a stop loss below or waited for the first candle to close. That would have been a massive entry. Insane, right? How about right here? We got above here. We double bottomed it, got kind of close. We did break it twice. But for the most part, after we surged above it and hung out near it, that was kind of our last low. Same thing here. Once we got above the 22, we were gone. Another big surge here that would pump you up and then go sideways for a while. And another massive surge. So let's just take a look. Right here, you could have got in no stop, but you could on with the stop below the 200 and you would have made massive gains, right? And you could have rode that stop that you put in forever. You'd still be in that trade right now, which is crazy, right? That was basically the bottom. So you could have bought the bottom and again, that's why I just do this over and over again. Like I may have bought the bottom right now because we've crossed it. You get what I'm saying? But no one will know for sure. But what I can tell you is, I don't know anything. But what I do is I do whatever the last the amount of data in the history has taught me. So this is the first cross after the bear market. Beautiful move. Here's the second cross, little pump, but we did go below it, so it didn't take you to Valhalla that time, you know. And this one did come and bounce off of it before a pretty nice move, but still, it went from 17 to 30K, right? If you had the goal to hold this the whole way, you're a G. I do that spot all day long with massive amounts, so I guess I can. I mean, I'm kind of immune to it now. Like, my positions are a bigger spot than most people's are and left. So we crossed this 200 moving average, right? But who knows? I shouldn't be, I'm not trying to. That was another monster move. I mean, that took you from 28 to 48. So that's 2 for 2, right? I'm just telling you why I do what I do without trying to be obnoxious about it, right? We get above the 200 here. It wasn't the best. So you could say, but it was still a gainer if you move your stop loss to break even like I did just now. So if you just do the right thing, and, you know, so maybe you got stopped at a break even if you were going for the big kahuna, but maybe you just took some profit because you saw bearish div and we were, you know, there was some indications that that was a weak moment though. You know, I'm sure, you know, your smaller time frames would have told you things weren't great. Anyway, back down, boom, boom, boom. So that's 2. That's 1 out of basically 2 for 3 are were hot calls. Here's another one. We kind of came back below it. So could you say no? And you could say it's 2 calls. Then we got back above it. You get back in. Or you could say, hey, you know, use your stop loss just a little bit lower and see if you could have stayed in. They might have got, you know, might have sold there, saw some bearish divergence, and then got back in when that pumped. It depends on how I would have played it. No, you know, but you could say, fine, exit out 2 for 4, and then make that a new one and say, boom. And so 3 out of 5 crosses were so hot, and then 4 out of 6 crosses were so hot. And here we are crossing yet again. Now, we've dabbled with it. Whenever you're dabbling with it, you might kind of play games, but there's a chance this is the last time you ever cross the 200 on the 22-hour time frame. As you can see, I just showed you every cross since the beginning of the bull run. It has been a very bullish sign. Again, some people will take this and go long. They'll get stopped out and then they'll curse my name and say I'm the worst and my strategies are horrible, right? Because the probability didn't play out. I am just a man that shows you what has happened in the past, and I play on that without using my emotions. I can't tell you exactly how else to trade. I can't force you to do anything. I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I say and do should be taken as financial advice. Please get yourself a financial advisor. Do your own due diligence before getting into any project, coin, or trade. And believe in yourself, please, if you can, by golly gee oh my. So 12-hour time frame also looks similar. It has closed a candle above. This does a very similar behavior. Whenever the 12-hour candle closes above the 200 moving average, it is a firework event that can create the beginnings, the foundations of some of the largest moves and some of the biggest assets in the history. And this is true for anything in the world. You can go over this on Tesla. You can go over this on Walmart, Amazon. I don't care. You can play the 200 moving average. I know I'm letting the cat out the bag. I feel bad that it was this simple all along. But then it's not that simple because there are fake outs. And then you got to stick with it. And you got to know your strategy. And you have to stick with your plan. If you're consistent with this, it pays. I found for me. But if you're not consistent, it won't pay, right? I mean, you got to be consistent. So look, and they tried to get me out of this trade. They tried to play games with it, and maybe I still get stopped out. There's no guarantees. But we are riding high back again at 380 on the call. And this is a trade I put out to the trading group yesterday after we took profits on the live stream. So we haven't lost. If you've been following, if you press the same buttons as me for the last 36 hours, you were in the game trading Bitcoin. And I've done it basically publicly because I've been live every 24 hours, and then I've been in the trading group throughout the whole time. So blessed to everyone that kicks it with the lifer. God bless you. Thank you for being here. So 12-hour candle close looks nice. 8-hour candle is a bullish engulfing candle. It's a beautiful sign right there. This would suggest that this candle would bullishly pump to the 200 moving average, bust through the gap. We get a candle to close here, which it did. We're above the point of control. It tells me we can get through this gap to 115,000. That would be your next level. Then you can gap up again here to 117K. And then the point of control at $119,000. So the stop, this is basically, you know, attempting to come back to 119K, right? And beyond, possibly. So this is where we're looking for BTC and people front running low prices. 113K has been insanely difficult to get above. every single time we hit it, it seems like someone is hitting the sell button or creating a brick wall. I will tell you, the more you hit a resistance, the more likely it is to break. So like you keep going like this, and it's the other way too. Like you keep going like this, boom, you're likely gonna dump. We keep going 13, 113, 113, 113, like, and usually it gets explosive if you keep rejecting us at that area with this voraciousness, right? So 4-hour time frame above the 21-day moving average, very key sign. That could start to curve up. You can go sideways for a bit before the pump. So worst bullish case scenario is that we have to go sideways here. Like this kind of, we just get trapped from 12.5 to 13 for literally a day, till tomorrow, or it says, Friday at 8 in the morning. Yeah, that'd be Friday at about 8 in the morning. We begin to pump tomorrow morning. Again, we have data coming at 8:30, so it would probably be 8:30, right? What is the data coming in tomorrow? Well, today we had preliminary GDP price index quarter over quarter, and we also had pending home sales, all right? And we had unemployment claims. We had preliminary GDP quarter over quarter. So that was forecast at 3.1. It's at 3.3. So that's good. That production is up, right? That has to be bullish. Unemployment claims are down from forecast. That's a bullish sign for me, right? More people are at work than they thought, right? And the index kind of a nothing burger at 2. Pending home sales, negative month over month at 4, exactly where it was, hasn't changed, which means it may be bottoming out, which could be a bullish sign too as well. Now, core PCE price index tomorrow. It's coming in at 0.3 and forecasted there as well. Then you have goods trade balance and personal income month over month. In personal spending, are people making more? What are they spending? This could be a doozy here tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised. So be careful for tomorrow. They throw like personal spending low and income down, right? Right now they forecasted it as up 0.2 than it was, and they got to forecast it as it being up. All right, income up and spending up. Let's see if that is the case. If they are not hitting that forecast, it could be setting us up for a bit of a disaster. And honestly, forecast is, I just realized they could front run you and create a bearish day, because who makes this forecast? Like if they make this forecast and we miss the forecast, right? Like why is it like if they say 0.3 and we hit 0.4, then we're bullish. If they say 0.5 and hit 0.4, then we're bearish. So it's almost like they control what happens to the market by forecast. The forecast is a little shady if you think about it, right? Like who's making that? Like if I was in charge of the forecast, I basically could control kind of what happened that day on the market a little bit. I'd have some influence on that market. It's a bit weird. I'm just, having a deep insight into the idea of where this, where these numbers and how they actually offset the market, right? So anyway, tomorrow at 8:30, we have to look at that. That's going to be something to look at. 113,245. Speak of the move, we finally seem to crack 113,000. And I would like to see this thing not have to go sideways on the 4, but get the push here. I've been looking for this flag to pump all day long, baby. Like, give me the love. Give me the line and which one's gonna die to my throat? Love that song. Shundaball. So can we get all the way up here to 115,593, 114,300? They're the targets. They're the beautiful targets over here. Again, the 15-minute getting low on the stochastics, attempting. So they keep dragging it down, but still keeping us in tow here. Now we're back up 450. We'd have back up a G, right? But we took some profits. It's okay to pay the trader. So now we're up about 700 on top of what we took. So let's see where we go. 113,179. This is the key resistance here. We keep hitting it. Let's get rippage, man. Let's finally let this stochastic breathe, go through its motion, and rip. Like this one here. This one did an amazing job. Boom. Look how much we got out of this one stochastic cycle here. It would be beautiful if we get a nice move here out of this stochastic cycle for Bitcoin. I'm looking for a pump. You're live with Sam Price, the Crypto Lifer. We are live trading here on NextC. Link in the description if you want to jump on in. Check it out. Also got an ETH trade open here on Weeks, which is about at break even right now. But we're live trading Ethereum on Weeks. And basically, I want to see this bounce and stay inside of this makeshift ascending triangle. If it does, I put a stop at the beginning of the triangle, and I'm going for the breakout all the way to $6,000. This is the trade. It's probably going to take me a couple weeks to hold this puppy. And that's my trade live on Weeks. Check out the link to Weeks. You can find out more in the pinned comment. All right. Do not trade leverage if you don't know what you're doing. Please. Okay. I didn't trade leverage for years. I made a great amount of money DCing into Bitcoin. All right. Just buying an asset that I believed in for years. So that is the number one plan, is to always be buying an asset long term. That's what I did to get extremely content with where I'm at in life. Okay, is the best way to say it, the humblest way to say it. And so I always want to teach you that, yeah, this leverage stuff is fun, you know? And I almost did it because it's a video game I wanted to master. I saw other people doing it. I wanted to be good at it. I didn't do it for years. I used to preach against it. I did. I used to be like, no. But now I'm able to, but there was many days where I knew the TA. Like I kind of, not knew, but I set up my probabilities. I sat with my wife and I told her, I see this happening. And then, I saw the flag. I traded, I had the whole trade set up, and maybe I bought some spot, and then I saw it play out. And after like a couple years of constant, I'd say over 70% of the time, I was seeing my call play out. I said, man, and then I saw people post their gains. I was like, man, I could have, and I said to my wife, man, I could have made more on that move. Like I could have taken a little piece here and there, just a little bit of, but I'll be honest, I was afraid to trade leverage. I lived in fear for a lot of my life in deep parts of my brain. And the fear kept me from moving forward. I always wanted to be on YouTube and do stuff in my 20s. And I started a YouTube channel in my late 20s, early 30s, but I eventually gave up. I got depressed one day when I did a whole vlog, and I lost some of the greatest footage I've ever put together. And the chip corrupted or something happened. I don't know what it was, but I lost this amazing documentary I put together. And it just I used it as an excuse to kind of just stop producing and kind of float away and, start drinking with my buddies and start hanging out as much as I could and not focus on my life. There's always someone's going to ask you to come to the bar that's asking you to hang out. And the thing, some of your friends, they have it together, but they just want to hang. So this is what happened to me. I'm Sam in the middle. I had my two good friends here that were CEO and VP of their company, and they were bosses. I had another guy that was working for a wedding company and working at home, He was like to just toke all day. My other buddies like to toke and drink too. And I had this circle of friends that all like to toke and drink, but they were good people. They loved me. We knew them for years, college buddies. And I just would go hang here, go hang here, go hang here. And after a year of that, 2 years, you know what I mean? I just never focused on myself. And anytime I wanted to focus on myself and it got hard, something in business didn't go right, and I got that frustrated feeling, I went out and used with somebody that loved me. And, we had fun. It wasn't the worst thing in the world. We went places, I saw games, and I went to steakhouses, and they had money too. So we went to nice places and stuff. But the whole point was I was losing myself, man. And they had a plan. Their lives were actually going well. And I said, after 2-3 years, I realized, man, everyone else I know is seems to be going somewhere. And I said, I'm just in the same place. It was very frustrating. And, but eventually, if you feel the way I felt, you'll find your place over time. So we're looking for this to turn into a complex inverted head and shoulder. Shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, shoulder for Bitcoin. And again, it's a low volume Thursday. Look for things to kind of start to pan out slowly. But if the moving averages can come and get tight, this is what I've learned. It's going to raise our chances of the move to the upside. So I'm going to stay inside the long. And so far, we have battled back above 113K. And the bulls have shown me a little bit of fight today. And I like what we're seeing. So shout out to anyone that's long with me on Ethereum and Bitcoin. We'll see what happens in the weeks and days to come. So my update is Bitcoin is bullish here, and I'm looking for the 50-minute to go sideways. We cannot lose the 200 moving average on the 5-minute time frame. That's the biggest deal here. You lose this yellow line, you lose 112, 160 one more time. You're likely to kind of stay in this abyss, and there's a chance you can go down to 110. Let's take a look at what's happening here on BookMap. BookMap finally has some liquidity at 119,000, which makes sense. So shorts are starting to build, and they're starting to show their skin. And if we really zoom in here too, you can see there's a lot of liquidity. There's a lot of liquidity above us too as well. Right there, look at that. 114.5, 114,000, 116,000, big red. The biggest red is at 112K. There's still a fat bit of longs there, but maybe there's a chance they squeak by. You never know. But right now, BookMap is saying it's more likely we go to the downside than to the upside. 112,000 is the key area of liquidity. But only time will tell. Only time will tell. Right now, you know, I do like our odds. They're starting to build liquidity on both sides, but look at that big red. Big red. What am I saying when I'm talking about big red? It's a gum from the 80s. What? No, seriously, it's a part of BookMap that tells you where the most liquidity is. And I call it big red because it's big and it's red. All right? You know what I'm saying? 113,300 for Bitcoin. Is there a scalp on the small time frames? Is there something brewing on little bitty? And we got a trade open here right now on the NASDAQ. NASDAQ starting to rip and break out. We're up $410 as the call on the NASDAQ starts to rip. We take our stop loss and we swing it to break even here on BTCC. Should be able to swing it up there over time. Come on over there. I think it did it. Hold on, I probably just have to reset for whatever reason sometimes. But we're up $400 here on BTCC. That's super, super amazing. I gave this trade on the NASDAQ. There it is. It's right there at break even. Just reset if you ever have a problem there. Refresh real quick. Huge pump for the NASDAQ. Starting to get an awesome pump here to the upside. The NASDAQ responding to a beautiful move, right? And so this is now 18 for 24. I should be, or 18 for 24 trading the NASDAQ. Only lost 6 trades, ripping this thing to the upside. So nice, beautiful pump. And making over 10% of the portfolio in one trade's pretty awesome too as well. 20x levy on $2,600. It's a $23,000 order size is 2.2 BTC. Is that what it's saying? No, does that make sense? No. But you get it. You can see used. Oh, where's my margin? Yeah, I used 2,600. Balance ripping. So we take this. I like this gainer here. This is nice. Let's take a look at the smaller time frame. So I give trades on the NASDAQ as well as Bitcoin. Okay. And honestly, like that's just a great day trade. I wouldn't mind just taking those gains. So I'm going to move that into position. And I'm going to take that. I mean, I think a $500 account of 400. When you're making 10% of an account on one trade or a little under 8 to 10, very smart move to take some profits, if not all of them. Yes, it may continue to moon. Things are looking pretty nice in this bigger flag. We have a bigger target. But, you know, it's Thursday. We just got a big volume spike from 10 to 11, which I know is when we have the most kind of a lot of liquidity. Maybe we continue to the upside, and maybe I miss out on this massive pump, and it's possible. And a chance I could have just held it with break even. But I'm a pay the trader kind of guy. And what we'll do is we'll look for a flag here on the smaller time frame, something else that can give us some love. This is actually a flag right here that I have played in my life. I'll be honest. I've played this exact flag here. Just got to see the perspective that I'm making. But see, you could trade my strategies on any asset in the world. It doesn't matter. From Bitcoin to the NASDAQ to Forex. I do it all the time. And I started trading the NASDAQ just to prove to my students and friends and people in my trading group that you could trade My strategies on any asset in the world, and you just got to stay true to what you do. Like, I believe this was an ascending triangle that was going to break to the upside. I could see that there was a beautiful inverted head and shoulder, right? Like, it was all there. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. And look, you can do all this here live on BitNX. Live on BTCC. So sorry, live on BTCC. Forgive me, BTCC. Love you guys. It's like, how dare I? No, but shout out to my whole crew at BTCC. And remember, right now, BTCC is doing something really, really cool for the lifers. If you join my trading group, we're going to have a Google Doc. And it says sign up to the BTCC with the affiliate link with the code LIFER333. All right? Fill out the competition form to be eligible, along with reaching a total volume of 1 million on the platform. You can win an all-exclusive trip to Token 2049 in Singapore and meet me and attend the exclusive BTCC parties and events, including the F1 Grand Prix. All right? That's exclusively through BTCC. All right? Check it out. That's pretty cool. And I'm giving trades on the NASDAQ that are hitting more than they're losing, and we're having fun. Look, even if this is a sloppy inverted, I ended up trading Bitcoin on this, but that was the Jerome Powell ridiculousness, right? Like last Friday afternoon. Insane, right? And the market has been saved. And then look, previous support is resistance. Resistance is support. If someone got in right when you got above there with a stop loss below this wick, right? You're playing an SR flip, you'd be in the money. Take your money. Came back down. It would be hard to go up and down, but now you'd be back in the money yet again. So anyway, you can see how if you just play the strategy I teach, and again, there's no indicator even needed there, just knowing how to trade. Also, let me show you something else that's going to blow your mind. They call me Sammy Adam and Eve, right? But I talk about the Adam and Eve probably more than any other trader online. Like, I'm always talking about it. I think I see them, lately I'm starting to see them more than the cup and handle. It's like I'm becoming Sammy Adam and Eve, right? Sam, the Eve and Adam. But so look, that's an Adam and Eve, and they break out beautifully to the upside. That even has a target back to the resistance. It's telling me that there's more to come for this trade. But paying the trader is the key. And thank you to everyone that, jumps on and uses the BTCC link. It's been around for 14 years. A great exchange. And look, I'm trading the NASDAQ Tech 100 with my US Tether here. You could do this across the board, across many assets. So it's pretty awesome. Check it out. It'll blow your mind. BTCC. You can also trade Apple, right? You could trade Amazon. You could trade Bitcoin. You could trade it all right here, right now on BTCC. Okay, moving forward. We got a bot cooking. I use a bot to trade. The bot is in the money. It bought this bottom right here. It'll get into profit at 117,000. That's where it's looking to sell. So the bot says that we've bottomed out and we're on our way to 117K. It's basically called the bottom many times. It bought right here. We made the higher low. It is able to sell right there. It bought a little early. I buy the exact bottom. No, but sometimes I beat the bot. Sometimes the bot beats me. This time it bought an exact bottom right there. It was insane. Look at that bot. You can go through all the buys and sells that it made in the entire summer, and the bot has just been spot on. It does not. It's been 100%. I think it's lost like 3%. I think it lost out of 100 trades. It lost 3, but I had to close them because I was resetting the parameters, and it was in the middle of trades that were like slightly underneath. They weren't bad, so I closed them. It's the only time I've ever seen it lose is when I had to shut the bot down to reset it. It's insane. So anyway, and I have records to back it up. And if you're in my trading group, I'm going to actually post them today just to kind of show you. But if you go to I think it's amazing. And maybe there's better bonds. I don't know. I don't know enough, but I like what I'm doing with it. And you can go to MINOTAUR Trading Systems to find out more. I do get a commission if you sign up to the bot, but I'm just telling you something that I like and that I use. That's it. And I tell people what I like and what I use. And if I have a chance to meet new people today, which I do because I'm on the live stream with thousands of people, I'm going to tell you what I like and what I use, okay? Because that's what I do. Shout out to all my beautiful people here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. We got a super chat coming on in from Shenron. Let's look at Chainlink. They just partnered with U.S. Commerce. Chainlink's huge. And I always knew Chainlink was going to be a big one, putting 100K into Chainlink around between $10 and $11. And we've just been riding ever since. And I felt it was the safest bet to park my money into Chainlink. I'm expecting a little pullback here. Stochastics are high. I just do not want to lose the 7-minute or the 5-minute 200 moving average. If we do lose that, then we're Bart Simpsoning. It's a Bart Simpson pattern, which it very well may be. See how it could end up becoming a Bart Simpson. and we'd head right back down to liquidity right there through this gap in the VRVP to 111,260. That's a possibility. That's why I have what's called a stop loss in at break even. So if it happens, I will not lose any money. Check, please. Okay? If we win, then I have a scot-free trade to play with. All right? Stop loss at break. You see this? Stop loss. You can clearly see it, what it is. And remember, some people laugh. They say, what is a stop loss? As a joke and stuff. And I find it, I guess sometimes I laugh. I can be open-minded, but I don't think it's funny too sometimes because that's exactly what Caroline said when they asked her about FTX. And she's like, oh, stop losses? No, we don't use those. That's for retail. Insane, right? So anyway, I wouldn't want to repeat things that she said. You know what I mean? Or be heard even saying anything of the sort. God bless everybody out there. So I do use a stop loss, and I move it to break even when I'm in position because I don't want to give back money that I've already made. Okay? Pretty simple, right? Again, maybe you're perfect and you know exactly where the bottom is every time, so you don't need a stop loss. Hey, if that's you, God bless you. I've been doing this for 20 years and it still ain't me, so hey. Superchat, BBWI, Chainlink, and Soul. We'll take a look at those. I watched her say that we all did. It was hilarious. I thought it was one of the best clips ever. Someone should get it out right now so we can watch it again. We should start the show with it every time. Like, stop loss. What's that? Yes, you can. So my daughter wants to play with a little drone, but it's got to be charged first, honey. You can also play with the boat in the pool. The remote control boat. That plugs in though. I got her a little remote control boat and a drone. She's so cute. This here, we got to plug this in. I don't see the charger for this. It's missing. The charger for this is missing. That may not be charged yet either. I plug that in. There's something going on. You got to. She'll see. There's a plug in the boat and a plug in. Let me see it, honey. Quick. I'm live streaming, baby. People are watching me. I love my kids so much that it's like, you know what I mean? People are going to be like, what the? They don't care. They don't understand. And they're not going to care. The batteries may be low. They may be, I tell her she got to change the batteries and the plug goes right in there. It took me a hard time to find it. All right, sweetie. I think it's charging though. Yeah, the battery. Yeah, that light's on. Hold that for like 20 minutes and then come back. Okay, Sam, much love. Can you check the MACD for pick out of the weekly? Check the previous MACD crosses of the weekly as well. Yeah, I looked at that already. I broke it down. It could actually be the bottom. A couple times it's been the absolute bottom. So we'll take a look and see what happens. Close that door, honey. Close that door, honey. Watch your fingers and close that door, honey. God bless you. They're so cute too, huh? Shout out to master friend of the house. God bless you. Family first. We could wait for you to... No. It's all good. Okay, so Bitcoin struggling at 113,000. Can we get the move back to the upside? I haven't even taken a chance to look at how many people are here today. God bless everyone here on the stream. Thank you so much for jumping on in. Let's get the likes up to the watchers. And we're banging on them. And we may have actually caught the exact bottom here for Bitcoin. There's a couple reasons why. Number one, I'm all about the complex inverted head and shoulder. Very strong. We created a neckline. We have since broken it. And that's a pretty good area to read, the 12.5 area. We stay above 12.5 and we're good, So, again, look at this insane resistance at 13,000. Isn't it nuts? It's like, it's a wall of walls. It's pretty interesting. It's, I've watched price action a lot of my life. This is we're just like slamming into this level over and over again. It's like, who is absorbing? Someone's absorbing sell price. Someone just keeps absorbing. It's like absorption is when there's a tons of buying in, and you can see every time the buyers get into it, someone is able to sell into that volume, right? And but there's so much buying that you're not getting dumped on. You're just getting absorbed right there. Eventually, the buyers are going to push through. The seller won't be able to absorb the buying. At the same time, BOOKMAP is telling me that we're going lower. So I've got the stop loss to break even. I can see both, but now we got liquidity up at 119. We did not have that until like maybe a few hours ago. So new red bar up there, and BOOKMAP wants to eat. And that makes sense to me. My system is telling me we have bottomed and we're on our way to $119,000. I'm just looking for a few more confirmations in the smaller time frame. I'm waiting for this previous resistance to hold his support at 12.3, 12.5. I'm looking for this flag to break out tonight up to 115. That happens. We're kind of, to me, it's the preemptive. It's like the break to 115 kind of tells me that we're going to hit 117, and 117 tells me 119 is a go-go. You see what I'm saying? A lot of times the key area before key area is the key area in a way, if you see how price action works. Not every time, but these are possibilities for sure. Okay, so we're back above 113,000. A little boring with the price action today is it's going sideways the entire time. Not much to go on the smaller time frames. If you look at the 1 minute, you've been in an insane chop. That's a double bottom though. And then you're still bouncing off the 21-day moving average, but I would not do my old 1 minute shenanigans. Look, you would have gotten chewed up today. I know when days are lower volume to stay off the smaller time frames and just trade like the 15-minute on up. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I might start getting crazy. Tonight is our weekly screen share, everybody, where we go over my entire portfolio. We talk together about what happened, go over anything that I may have done to change up the portfolio and kind of where we're at. We have some fun too. We talk about kind of, the many mental challenges of trading, break down some subconscious mind healing, all sorts of crazy stuff. So if you're excited for tonight, put a 333 in the comment. And if you're coming to the screen share, let me know. God bless everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. So heavy resistance at 113,000. I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. We're just playing probabilities, but I do like the curvature. I like us above the 200 moving average. So, and I like that, so I kind of gave you my reasoning on the 22-hour time frame, and I showed you a whole year, like a couple years worth of back testing on that on Bitcoin since the beginning of the bull run. Pretty awesome, right? Which is I basically taught you how to trade the 200 without you realizing it unless you knew, I showed you the 12-hour 2 as well. We made multiple confirmations on many time frames. We then showed you this flag here on the 1 minute. I showed you live trades. I took some profit, and we're still in a live trade right now. And on top of that, we also showed you kind of my reasoning for this complex inverted head and shoulder, the support and resistance flip here, and why there's also some more bullish confluence that we may get this move up to 115,500. I don't know much more I can say for Bitcoin. I feel like I've really fulfilled the duty on reporting on BTC right now for myself and for you, and I'm very thorough, and my mind's like, dude, it doesn't have any unanswered questions. My mind's like, okay, you've kind of answered everything for me. Anything else that you need, Sam? No, Lifer, you're good. You can move on now. Thank you so much, Lifer, said Sam, and thank you, Sam, said Lifer. Weird. Okay, so moving forward, we took profits on the beautiful NASDAQ trade, which looks like it's going to continue to moon to the upside and continue to blast. So shout out to anyone that's trading my way on that NASDAQ. The 1 minute flag looks like it could break out and do some damage here to the upside. This could be a cool trade. We could let's risk a bit of the, we made 400. So what we'll do is we'll risk a little bit here. So we'll set the take profit at 24,000, which is likely to go to those. And the NASDAQ's likely to make a new ATH as well. We've been talking about that for a while. 23,624. All right. Would be that stoppy stop. And then we kind of drag out where we're at. We click on price action, very important. And keep clicking on it, make sure we keep getting accurate. Hit the advanced. It says 354.49. We're not going to be doing that. We're just going to go 1/3 back on that. And we're going to risk basically a fourth of what we just made, 123 for 327, right? Now, that would be a huge move to just make that little bit amount. We may zoom out to a bigger time frame, but I also just don't get greedy. The key about trading a smaller portfolio is to build it slowly over time. Once it's big, then you can, attempt to double up here and there. But for me, it's about just growing it. You don't want to look back down. You see what I'm saying? For no reason. So there we are on the trade. So we did take that trade for BTCC. So what I'm looking at now is, see how I have now add a take profit and a stop loss? But usually it's like the last time I did it, it stayed. This time I have to add it back again. And that could be confusing because I already added it. You see, so just one thing would be good to tweak there. 24,000. That was what, 23,624. Now I have to. Yeah, 23,624. So just make sure you have them there if they do disappear, because then you'll think you had it, but it's not there, right? So always double check your stuff. Never blame someone else for why you didn't, thoroughly take a look at what was happening. It's no one else's fault if it doesn't go perfect when you can clearly see that it was on you at one point, right? If you don't see them, just refresh. They should pop back up after refresh. See, I still... They're there. I believe they're there, right? See what I'm saying? Like... So... Bitcoin looking bullish. I like what I'm seeing here for Bitcoin. Can the Ethereum trade get back in action, or is Ethereum going to kind of dump? Let's take a look at Ethereum right now and Bitcoin dominance. Is money flowing back out of Ethereum into Bitcoin? Only time will tell. This flag looks like a likely play to the upside. I've been here many times before. I'm feeling like we're in deja vu, but I also know that anything is possible. First thing we're going to look at is Ethereum US Tether, but we're also going to look at Ethereum Bitcoin. We want to see Ethereum against BTC and see kind of how it's playing out. So last time I put out Ethereum, I liked this ascending triangle. Bullish. They came down and ate up all the stops. Ethereum shrugged up against Bitcoin and got rejected by 46.50. Pretty crazy, right? To see it not really want to propel itself further to the upside and just kind of, dwindle around here. Let's take a look at the weekly. The one thing I'm not a fan of Ethereum right now is how high away it is from the 21-day moving average on the weekly time frame. I got to tell you, many times in my life, I'd say 90%, whenever I've seen an asset like that, it has come back down to the 21. So we either have a kind of nasty move back down for Ethereum for some weird reason. Like, what happens? Ethereum goes on, it could go, Bitcoin goes on a massive tear. And it just, you know what I mean? And people just, anyone who made those gains in ETH, they sell them to buy Bitcoin. They figure, dang, I'm not going to get a chance to buy. See, right now, everyone thinks Ethereum's going to outpace Bitcoin. That's what everyone keeps saying. If you go to the news, they're like, oh, ETH is the institutional chart. It's ETH, it's ETH, it's ETH, it's ETH. And so it's almost like they're creating a buy frenzy for Ethereum so they can sell the Ethereum to buy more Bitcoin. I'm always wary of the news, right? And you're overbought here on the weekly, and you're away from the 21-day moving average. Now, fine, maybe in this anomaly, we just continue to pump. If we do that, it's 10. I've seen that only less than 5% of the time. It's very rare that I've seen the weekly pump when you've been this high on the RSI, stochastic, and away from the 21-day moving average. If you do pump, I've seen at least an uptrending flag that then breaks out, and it tells you got some sideways price action for a few weeks or some downward price action. If you pull the fib, just to be fair mathematically, I mean, it says you could come back down to $3,000. Is that happening for sure? Everyone is so bullish on ETH right now, saying it has to continue to pump. The weekly isn't too far away. There's a chance it could pull it up, but if it keeps pumping that way, there's going to be a reckoning with that 21 on the weekly. Here, we got away from it for 4 weeks straight. We came back down. There, 6 weeks, we came back. This has been a very long time coming, and overbought on those stochastics RSI. So I'm starting to get into the premium, is what my indicators are saying. I like the 3-day. So the idea is that we're going to somehow extend that weekly, and it will just stay away from the 21. But even then, it tells me that we have at least till the rate cut. So it's saying basically, and it makes sense. Check this out. Oh my gosh, I just figured it out, everybody. Think about who you are as a trader. And this is it. We got it. I think we're locked in right now. So check this out. You're an institution. Your job is to accumulate, okay? You know now that the Bitcoin is like about 90%, 80% through its rally already. But Ethereum is only about 20%, 30% through its rally. There's definitely 70% more pump coming out of Ethereum for sure. It's a guarantee. It's like a fact. It's locked in. So ETH is the golden child right now because it's likely going to move. All right, boom. So you know that you're going to get a lot more money after September 17th with about a 90% chance right now. Even if you were Joe Schmo Blow and you knew nothing, like me from the inside, there's a 90% chance, 89, right? 87% chance that you're going to get free money on September 17th. Okay? Meaning the money that you got today is going to be way cheaper to borrow from that after that day. So you want to make sure that you have at least a couple weeks after the rate hike to finish off. You want to begin your accumulation now. You want the rate hike to come in on the 17th. There's the 16th right there. Right? And you want to be able to just get a little more in before the pump. And so it would make perfect sense that Ethereum will go sideways now and then pump right after the rate cut and go to 7,000. The 3-day chart looks absolutely beautiful. I would keep this on your radar. We're going to come back to this every day for Ethereum and keep it really simple. But it's telling us that accumulation there at 4,000, you know, that may never be. If you have a liquidation below 4K, there's a chance you never get touched. And you're able to ride this puppy to 75.30. And that's a bold call, but it looks likely for Ethereum. It's making me almost FOMO for a trade now and just let it cook for days on end and not look at it. 4-to-1 scored ratio. Almost a 5-to-1, like 5,000 for almost 25,000. 1,000 for like 4,800. So you lose $1,000, so you make $5,000 on this trade. And if you're willing, I mean, that's, and again, I'm not a financial advisor, but dang, that looks interesting. And I think I got some, I seen ETH in some new goggles today. And you're lucky to be here with me as we do this because that's an epiphany to me. That looks good to me. A lot of times on the channel, I see it for the first time because we do a lot of thorough TA. Like I'm doing my thorough TA that I usually do. I would have done alone anyway. And I do it with each and every one of you. Thank you all for keeping me on point and keeping me thorough. Because this show is here, I show up every single day. And God bless you all. Thank you so much. Let's get the likes up to the watchers. I would greatly appreciate it. So we've done a lot of teaching today. I feel really confident about the content we've created and the value provided. I really do. I think it's been an amazing stream, and we're not even done yet. We still have a 37-minute blast of energy to coming at you as I am full of caffeine, ready to blast. And so you can't stop the lifer now. God bless all the beautiful people here on the live. Thank you again for being here. And remember, you're in control of your happiness. You're in control of how you feel. You're in control. So another cool thing about this is we saw sideways Ethereum. We saw Bitcoin looking a little more frisky, right? It kind of does say that Ethereum's going to drop again against Bitcoin, which would make sense. And it might even make what I see is this: a shoulder, a head, a right shoulder. When Ethereum fulfills that, and look at that, September, right? This is when people will start front running ETH again. Bitcoin's pump will start to subside a little bit maybe. And boom. So Ethereum, Bitcoin bullish to me, but looking like it needs to go through a bit of a process. And that makes sense for so see how I juxtapose. So I found this to be true. One day, look, I studied, let's just say, I looked at, look, this is amazing. I'm going to take you through a really quick analysis. If I can do this really quick, stick with me. Don't go anywhere. So I watched a 1 hour time frame one day, and stick with me. This is amazing. You're going to think this has nothing to do with pertain. You're going to want to click away, but please stay with me. This is insane what I'm getting an epiphany by. So one day I watched the 1 hour, let's just say, and I saw the flag on the 1 hour time frame. All right, price came up. It made a nice bull pennant. And tight moving averages, Stokes were curving up, and I was like, man, that looks good to me, right? And so I went back and I studied this 1 hour chart on multiple assets around the world, and I saw, like, that's money. Like, you know, check please, right? So I started understanding that there were probabilities that I could really rely on based off the stochastics RSI, the MACD, the RSI, right? And so then I zoomed out to the weekly and started using the weekly the same way. And if the weekly was low and curving and all that, I figured, hey, we're probably close to a big a giant bottom. And we would zoom out just like the 1 hour. So then what I did is I took the weekly and I did that on multiple charts, right? And so over time, you develop this kind of sense. So now once I saw that on the 1 hour so many times, so then what I did is I said, well, can I do this on US Tether dominance, Bitcoin dominance, and then look at Bitcoin? And I could see, well, if there's stochastics are pointing down and we're in a rising wedge on Tether dominance, but the stochastics are pointing up and we're in a falling wedge on Bitcoin dominance, and then Bitcoin looks like it's about to go up in a flag, then now I have like a pretty good conclusion that Bitcoin's about to pump. Tether dominance is going to dump and Bitcoin is going to pump. Dominance is going to... And I started using these three, and I just gave you the sauce. Like I don't know why I give it away. But so this is how I figured out how to find out where the market's going with pretty dang good accuracy based on, and then I can go back everything that I teach. Like anytime I say that it looks like we're going to, like an alt season is coming, and I look at Total 3 because Total 3 says we're going to pump, it's based off years of data on every asset in the world and all the different collection of all the different time frames that I've put together in my subconscious mind to give you the data. And that's why I love the stream, because it took years to create the stream. The market value produced comes out of just sitting in this market. And no AI, I mean, AI is going to attempt to guide itself, but it doesn't have the instinct I do. It can't see it can't front run what I can front run. I have an AI that trades, man, and sometimes I beat the bottom all the time. And again, I'm not saying it's bad. I love it. But I can see how sometimes and again, sometimes it beats me and it's up all night. And again, I get tired. I make mistakes like the AI does not, right? I am not 100% like the AI, so there you go. So say whatever you want. That thing's, doesn't have to buy the bottom apparently. I do, just to keep up. So ETH Bitcoin looks like it could be struggling a little bit. It might get a bounce and get tight, and it might even just go sideways before a bigger pump. But it does look like it's slowing down just a bit, which is kind of what we want to see for the story. Now we look at Bitcoin dominance. All right, you see how we're kind of blending this together now, and we want to see Bitcoin dominance getting a little bullish. And it is. And people are starting to get a little FOMO here for Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin pumps out the flag to the 200 moving average, so expect Bitcoin dominance to pump to the 200 moving average. Expect Bitcoin to pump up to the 200 moving average on the 1 hour. These are likely magnets. And if it can break above this, the 21 will catch it, then we will pump up here to resistance. And this looks like a likely scenario. We'll be headed to 59% on Bitcoin Dom. Massive dump for Bitcoin. Out of nowhere, just collapses. Insane. Not out of nowhere, but, and it looks like we'll get stopped out of break even after all that. What a nasty day. And again, I said it could be a Bart Simpson, right? To the downside, we have no clue. And Thursdays, this week has been tough as it is, and Thursdays are tough. People could already be starting to front run the data coming in on, because they end trading early on Thursday. Like around 2 or 3, a lot of people are done. I've seen it, like the volume gets cooked. So that means that real traders at 11:30 are already starting to front run their moves for that data coming in at 8:30. Think about it. I mean, it makes sense. I don't know if the caffeine's talking or it's me, but it makes sense. Am I wrong? Or does it make sense to you? So we can already kind of see jitters from the data coming in. That data is pretty strong, like that we're waiting for tomorrow. Like it's kind of like, it's like earth-shocking data if it comes in different. Like I can see how it could be a real bearish day. So personal income and personal spend, like if those aren't kind of what is forecast, it could kind of really it'll create the narrative that they want for the day, which is kind of not cool. Again, it's kind of almost like rate hiking. It's kind of like having control of the market. It's a bit weird, but. So, wow. The wind blowing out of my sails as I sat in this long for days. I think I took profits on one. Still in the trade, though. Like, this is crazy what they keep doing. They're liquidity farming because there's not a lot of people out here for whatever reason. I'm hiding below the support. There's a chance I SR flip this puppy and win, but you never know. 112.5 again being tested. 13K again being resistance. Just what a pain in the butt today. What a pain in the butt. And it happens like that all the time. Let's jump into the chat. See if you guys can make price action turn up over here. Shout out to Lakochi Coker, one of the hardest working lifers in the game. God bless him and his newfound love. Thank you. Ulrich, shout out to Ulrich. God bless you, Ulrich White. We love you. Ulrich. Shout out to Vegas Claw. Sam's the type of guy who eats cereal with a fork and saves the milk for the next morning. How do you know that? Every single time. Super chat, BBW, Link, Sol, and SGBUSDT. All right. Vegas Claw is the type of guy that washes keyboard before he washes his keyboard. Shout out to INSP, please. I got the laugh thing. You don't have it, so like I can say something less funny but get a bigger reaction. It's kind of unfair. You know what I mean? See, I did it again. You know. The guy's got it though. He's got it in the pocket over there. Hey. Let's take a look at these super chats. Let's see what's happening and break it down. Not right now, honey. We're deep invested. It may be. You could put it in the pool to find out and see if it flies. It's got to touch the water to know if it's moving. Okay, let's take a look at the fan funny here on the Super Chat Easies. Can you look at Chainlink from Camp? We got Chainlink. I can't wait to look at Chainlink. Can you check the weekly MAC cross for Bitcoin? We'll take a look at the weekly MACD cross. So let's take a look at that real quick. Another thing we have, right, is the giant gap on the CME. Right, and we're just kind of beginning to enter the gap slightly. For me, there was the wick right there. And I actually looked at it on the 4-hour time frame, which I felt was a little more efficient. And on the 4-hour, yeah, right there to the wick there too as well. A huge gap. Look how we keep wicking into the gap. Pretty weird. It's like someone doesn't want us to enter that gap. Or they're playing with the fact that we're entering the gap, you know. Weird how the price is always, you know. So anyway, there's a giant gap right there. Like you would assume we would bust through it. So that's on the CME. Doesn't mean we have to. But everyone likes to talk about the gaps below. We're going to dump. No one likes to talk about the gaps above. Only like fewer channels talk about the gap above than talk about the gap below. Why is that? When the gap's below, everybody and their mom, the gap's below. The gap's above, it's like 2 out of 10 channels talk about it. It's like, do people want to be more bearish than bullish or something? Do they get paid to bear post? Like, it's kind of strange. Like, is there literally an army of bear posting out there? Like, do you believe that there's someone that sways the market by paying plants that they create on social media to post bearish to try to scare you out of the market? Because they know people don't listen to the news anymore, and they might see through some AI that the news isn't creating the same affection, because they used to actually write an article and then they could like somehow test how it spread through the internet. They could see people's reactions, right? They had some way of testing us. They were testing our phones. They were doing something. And they would basically get back cross data, right? You send it out, you get back in. Now, people don't want to watch the media no more, so now they're going to have to create plants through social media, like make it look real when it's fake. I'm probably out of my mind right now, but maybe I'm not. I don't know. You tell me. Anybody ever think what I'm thinking, or is it just like, am I out there in space, you know? Bitcoin, now on the 1 hour, has to make a bounce here. It can't lose this key level. Let's go back to the 7. Did it lose the 200 moving average? It did not. It bounced right near it. Did I get kicked out of the trade? I did not. I'm still in it. Are they playing games with my mind? Yes, they are. Am I doing? I not care. I do not care. Am I going to stay in the trade? I'm going to stay in the trade. Is there a chance I win? There's a chance I still win. Am I repeating myself? I am repeating myself. Why? I don't know why. Okay? I just am. So, yeah, there's a fire under my right now. Straight up. Keeping me going every single day. Constantly working the magic. Can you look at Chainlink? Let's take a look at Chainlink. Take a look at Bath and Body Works of the monthly chart. It looks like early Bitcoin. It's absolutely exploded. Super cool to see. Interesting. Okay, so we got a lot to cover. We got to look at Chainlink from my man Cap. God bless you, Cap. Thank you for giving. And everyone that gave a super chat today, God bless you. Thank you so much. We have Rocky. Can we check the weekly MACD cross for Bitcoin? Oh, yeah, so the first thing I want to do is go to BTC, like UST, on like some chart I haven't seen in a long time. Actually, we'll look at the all-time history index for you to keep it real. I'll go to the weekly, and he's talking about the MACD cross, which is a bearish cross. So let's kind of break it down and show you exactly what he's talking about. I did address it last night in the channel, but it's worth looking at yet again. So this is the MACD, all right? Every time it's had a bearish cross is when the red line has gone below. Now, usually it happens after the fact. So you usually have to have a dump, and then you get the cross. But then you'll get some follow-through dump, possibly, right? So there was a bearish cross there. There was a bearish cross there. There was a bearish cross there. I'm just marking all the bearish crosses in the last like year. Let's see how far back we go here. From November to 21, even the last 4 years, right? And there is a bearish cross there now too. Sorry, that's not a bearish cross. I don't know what I'm talking about. Right there. Okay. MACD is crossing. Kind of a shoulder, head, right shoulder there too. Looks a bit, could be bearish. Let's take a look at these. So this is from November of 2021. You can see it doesn't cross a lot. Now this was the high. We were above the 21. You got to use the moving averages. It's very important. Here we were away from the 21. The 21 was very high. You were kind of, there was bearish divergence here. And there was already a lot of bearishness. And this adding to it, right? And you can see there was bearish div very strong on the RSI as well. And we had gotten into the very high shaded region, which meant we got to the high. Basically, it's a really good indicator now, but Bitcoin really doesn't hit the high until this turns into a shaded region. That's when I know Bitcoin has made a high, like a high of the cycle. Here, Bitcoin got into the shaded region. You can see that was a high of this area, right? Like we had broken an all-time high. We got very overheated. We reset. So when Bitcoin gets back into the shaded region again, that's when I would start to sell. And there's going to be a bearish div there and stuff of that nature. So anyway, so the last cross we had, let's go back to the MACD. So I just wanted to show you that on the RSI, where the RSI was when the MACD crossed. Just so you can see the difference too. You got to use more than one indicator, right? Here we had a MACD cross, and it really was the beginning of a pump. Okay, let me open it up. There's actually lack of bearish momentum. It showed that the bears had nothing. And look, there was a previous resistance and support. You want to be really strong on your support and resistance. Indicators are great. I found support and resistance makes indicators bend. So like this indicator said you were going to dump. If you went by just the MACD, you would short the heck out of it. But if you knew support and resistance, you would have traded support and resistance, and the MACD would have bent to your favor. And then the MACD would have turned nil and ripped. You would have like, but what? And I would have like, well, but that's because you didn't know. So support and resistance is key, and to it, moving averages. If I'm above a previous support as resistance and a 200, I don't give a dang what the MACDs do. I really don't. Moving forward yet again. Here we again have a bearish cross of the MACD, and it creates a pretty nasty dump, and we go into a 7 or 8 week dump. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like, yeah. It, however, does create a bottom, and we get out of it. But the cross did create, some pain for about 7 weeks. Here again, we have a MACD cross, and I'm just answering a super chat. He asked me to do this, so we are doing it. And here we have a MACD cross here on the weekly, and we kind of pump after it, but it does create a longer pullback over time. So the MACD is funny. You might pump right after it. That's why it's not an indicator I trust 100%. I use it with everything else. Oh, yeah, we missed this one here. There's a MACD cross right there, and it did. That was about a 6 to 10 week pump. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like about a 10-week dump. So another MACD cross. Now, one time, it kind of was the bottom there. Like we MACD crossed and it was the bottom. I even think here at the very bottom, we MACD crossed. Again there. And right now, it is a bearish signal overall. Like if you go over the probabilities, it's not my favorite thing to see right now. But it could end up being one of those tiny little crosses and we rip. The reason being is when you see a real high cross of the MACD, you want it coinciding with very overbought RSI. But we have had 7-week pullbacks. It could end up being a little bit of a 6 to 7 week pullback. We might dip down, rip around 108, 107, rip back up. It might take 7 to 8 weeks, and then we pump. You see what I'm saying? I'm not overly bearish, but maybe it slows us down. So yeah, I just went over that for that super chat. Thank you for the super chat. God bless you, Rocky. Taylor Murphy says, can we take a look at Bath and Body Works of the monthly? Looks just like early Bitcoin. It's absolutely exploded. Super cool to see. Thank you, Taylor, for taking such an immense, appreciation for this channel and always being active in the chat. Really greatly appreciate that. Bath and Body on the New York Stock Exchange. Wow, on the weekly, yeah, it had its pump, comes up, has a bear market, pumps, kind of has a bear market, comes back up. The first thing I'm doing on the weekly is pulling that fib, looking for where you came back down to, which was the 706, the secret institutional fib. One thing I don't love is it's kind of making what I look for as is almost a descending triangle, but I feel like it's attempting to make the wedge. I see it might go sideways for a couple more weeks before it begins to break out yet again. And it definitely getting to the discount. You take a look at the 3-day chart. So after a massive pump, it's coming back down to the 706. Could be something worth scooping up. I'm all set. Like, I would never trade this, but like I would just scoop up Bitcoin. I'm really focused on what I'm doing. But hey, you know, it kind of goes on the lows here somewhere at 30 and rips on a 3x back to 90 when they pump so much money into the markets that almost everything pumps. Makes sense. Can you check on the MACD for Bitcoin on the weekly? We did that. Thank you so much, Rocky. Shenron. Let's look at Chainlink. They just partnered with U.S. Commerce. We have 2 Chainlink super chats here. Let's take a look at that. All right. And thank you, Mr. Universe, for the $1.99. God bless you for jumping on it. And that comes back tenfold every time I tip, every time I'm nice, every time I'm give when I'm not asked to give. I just give because I give. It comes back to be tenfold, everybody. So God bless all the beautiful people that give on this channel. It's absolutely amazing. You don't have to, but you do. May God bless you all. Let's take a look at Chainlink here on MEXC. So what I see happening for Chainlink is just a longer, consolidation. That's going to take some time. Like, it's not perfect. It's just going to take its time. And we're going to get tighter and tighter in the nose here before we break on out to 48, possibly even to 39. And there's resistance also at about 29. So I like what I'm seeing for Chainlink. And I like the tightness. But at the same time, it's going to take some time. It's looking like maybe a week or two before a bigger pump. And we could even come back down here to challenge the $20 region. I wouldn't be surprised. But whatever happens, I'm long Chainlink, 100 grand in at 10 and 11. I'm going for the big gusto. Let's go, baby. Chainlink. So, and we'll see where Chainlink goes. But I'm bullish on Chainlink. We're above the 200, moving average starting to grow. And I see this thing is beginning to move. And there's big news on it in the institutional front. RWA, tokenized asset. This thing is set. And I had a big feeling that it was going to be used in the back end of the institutional grade tokenization. And even though no one talked about it or cared, I said, man, I really believe Chainlink is hot. And whether I was in the futuristic mind or my mind just, and again, I'm not the only one that saw that. It's kind of a simple idea, but you had to be super patient and know that it took some time. I'm already up double now and a little more. We'll see what happens to Chainlink. Well, God bless anyone that, believes in Chainlink like I do, man. Let's go. Let's go. And again, it's not your earliest coin. It is old school Dino. But man, the use case is starting to come through, and it's been waiting a long time for it to really show why it's the boss of bosses. Chainlink. God bless. And I'm super happy with my low, slow, way less risky pick, I believe, for Chainlink. Because it wasn't like buying some meme. Let's take a look at Solana. Solana, another big winner that I feel like is just a piece of the puzzle to have. I see Solana about to do some serious damage. We talked about buying Solana down there at 171. We talked about it down at 193. You're in the money now, and there's a breakout. Above the 200 moving average, getting tight. Memes are back in sauce. There's some memes that have been ripping. They've done 10x overnight. That thing, MEOW, kitty with the EH or whatever, right? This thing can go to 44591, and it has resistance at about 250. But I'm bullish on Solana. And it looks like it's going to go to $445 somewhere by January. Solana. A next big leg for Solana as we get our next big move here. So Solana says, yes, there's another leg coming and another bull run for these alts. So much love. Can you check the MACD? Yep, we did that. Sammy, great call on Crota 37 yesterday. It's the last of Saturdays of the month session, part of 99 or a separate 150. No, it's part of the 99, man. You're all set. Oh, the last Saturday of the month? No, that's a separate 150, yes. I thought you asked about tonight. Yeah. Let's take a look at Crow. Remember, we looked at Crow, said there could be some more coming out of that little flag. We weren't really sure. So crazy. And I keep forgetting what I did my Crow analysis on now. So we looked at this little flag and said we could get up to, 37 cents, right? Now, I just projected this. But again, if you had just played it out and reset it, there's your flag for Crow. There's your big move to the upside. Bang. Then it makes finally another flag, bearish div. Strong bearish divergence is when you have to skip on out. Okay? And remember, the daily is so overbought at this point, there's going to be a nasty dump at the, a great place to take advantage if I was in some Crow, in my humble opinion. But, you know, shout out to the long-term holders. It just did something amazing. 16 to 32 doubled up in about 2 days. So 100% in 2 days. This market is frothy. News is pumping it. That's a good sign, man. You know, Trump media had something to do with Crow. Crow pumped. It's in there with the big boys, right? And it's always been a great coin. It has no, you know. Some of the fees are a little high at the beginning. I applied to their coin when it first came out. Like, to the card, the Crow card. Bang, Crow. Crypto.com. Maybe it saves the day here and goes sideways and continues to pump. The daily just looks very overbought now, away from the 21-day moving average. Let's see. Watch that flag on the smaller time frames and watch the pullback to the 618. Still looks like you could possibly get it down at 23 one more time for Crow. Okay, can you look at Songbird, Ripple, and Flare collabing? Yeah, Songbird been hot. And I'll just write Songbird, right? Yeah. Songbird, SGB. Funny, last time I looked at it, wanted to hold that level and bounce. Obviously, got no love there. So, Songbird. It's got these higher lows. It's attempting to get above the 200 moving average. Very low volume, very small coin. Very kind of unknown, even though it's like known and connected, but only like the Ripple fiends really love it. And even retail that knows about Ripple, they have no clue what's going on with Songbird and Flare. You got free Flare, and I believe you got free Songbird if you held Ripple. And you even got it on Coinbase, I believe. So I've got it as well. Reminds me when my first or second child, I was waiting outside the hospital when we got our Songbird airdrop or something. So it looks like we could get all the way up here to about a penny at one point. I'm not a huge fan. There's a lot of real deep believers in this coin. They think it's going to be the one. It's going to back the financial system. Songbird, you got to get down. There's that whole thing going on. I've never been a fan. Everyone that said it was the one, remember when I said I'd stay away from it? It's nothing. And I mean, a good thing, right? You would have been absolutely pounded if you believe those people. But we'll see what happens. It's at the lowest it's ever been. Can it crawl back with the XRP ecosystem? Is a chance. You're finally making higher lows here, but why have to? Like, this is the have to coin. I'd rather something with volume and swing it. But that's me, man. Let's take a look at WFLI. World Liberty Financial. There's a premium on it. Hold on one second. And I can't take. So let's take a look here. What's happening? World Liberty Financial, WLFI. Is that it? There's different ones though, and I have different market caps. I have Airbnb, I have a B&B one. I don't know, man. Yeah, I gotta figure out which one is the real one. This looks hot, but I don't know. I don't want to be out. I don't know. I'm ignorant here. I wanted to get into this, but you had to like do a whole KYC crazy thing, and I didn't. Every time I tried it, my phone and my Brave, like the browser weren't working. It was really sad. I tried another browser. I had issues, and I had things to do. It kind of upset me there. God bless Sam and his family and the lifers. 777 Sam, can you check Filecoin? It holds Avalanche, Solana, Cardano blockchains on its data storage. It's all right. Can you check out Camp Brother and much love? Finally join the 99. I'm loving it. Shout out to JLit TV. God bless you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't know which one is which. I'm going to have to do my research on that and get back to you guys. All right. Let's take a look at INSP and TOSHI. Inspect. INSP's been an interesting project, right? It's built on some new tech. So it's got that sauce. Like it's a new coin that could do something that people are like expecting it to do, right? It already came out at 6 cents though, and it's up dang near a 6x, which is crazy. It did over that at one point, a 7x, the 4.2. But it's at previous supportive resistance. It's very oversold on the daily. Tells me that this is a really good chance to get back into this coin for a possible leg back to the upside. This looks bullish to me. Simple SR flip with a 4-to-1 risk-reward ratio, but you could easily get stopped out. You never know. But I like what I'm seeing here. And there's the 3-to-1 if you go a little deeper. Again, this has to fit your trading style. But yeah, I really like what I'm seeing on the daily. If you just keep it on the daily and just hold and wait, looks like it could take a couple weeks. But I like what I'm seeing here for INSP. It does look like it has what it takes, the sauce, so to speak. So yeah, interesting. So great stream today. We took gains on the NASDAQ. We took gains on Bitcoin. And I'm grateful for those gains. So we continue to add and stack and compound. Are we still in the trade? I can't even look now. What's happening? It's looking lower and lower now. Bitcoin collapsing to the downside, looking like the Bart Simpson is in. All right. And so I will get stopped out at break even and we'll go from there. No chasing. Always in control. Always okay with it. And maybe it pings and goes back up. Probably likely. Hits me right there and goes right back up, right? But that's okay. And I'll get back in on the right shoulders and play it back to the upside yet again with better risk. It's not about really chasing the price action. Like, oh, I was there, but I could have been there. It's more about where's my next awesome placement. Remember, we don't want to lose the 5-minute 200 moving average. If we're doing that, that's a bearish sign. So now that we're losing that, now you could say we could drop all the way back down here to 111.6. So, and remember, BookMap did suggest that we go lower. It has this big fat area down at 112,000. Maybe it's just a last long liquidation we have to eat out. Just brah. Didn't sound right. But we have to, too much on my mind, I guess. We have to get through all that to be able to get us further to the upside. Okay? Definitely something that looks likely. Tian Toshi, please, good sir. Thank you, and God bless you for your time and love. Thank you. God bless you, man, for your time and love. Thank you so much for saying that. That's very nice of you. Let's take a look at Toshi here and see what's happening for Toshi. Toshi the cat on MEXC. Toshi the cat still inside this beautiful uptrend with higher lows. Getting very tight. So I would just continue to watch it here and make sure it doesn't lose that top trend line. As long as it stays in this trend line and gets more oversold in the daily, there's a good chance this thing can pump. Not amazing though, and you always have to be careful about these smaller coins. If you're swing trading it, you're waiting for the dip. If the pump back up in the consolidation. And it says it could get back up to about, it could bust through a 0. And that is Brian Armstrong's cat, the owner of Coinbase, right? So 160, 155, 157% gains. If it stays tighter inside the zone here, this is what you're looking for. Looks pretty nice to me. Could be a very aggressive entry for Toshi. Bitcoin attempting to hold me down here and get the bounce. Is there a chance I get held down? Look at this. This is insane. Tweezer bottom me and keep me in, baby. Let's go. Look at this shoulder, head, right shoulder. You see it? Shoulder, head, right shoulder. Defied. Possible bounce. Is it the 1 minute 200? It looks like it is. No, we're below that. Oof. We're still above the 15 minute 200, which is bullish to be. Man, what a crazy place to be right now. So I'd love to get stopped out of break even, let it pump, make the right shoulders, and I'm going to re-enter the trade later today if we do one of these. Bang, right? And that will be my entry right there. So I already kind of have a plan. In case they snipe me out, I'll be okay. So I'm all right with it. And I took some profits already. It's okay. They are playing games, and it's Thursday. The volume is starting to dry up tighter. It's getting tighter and tighter and harder to trade. It's Thursday afternoon. I just want to warn you. All right. Okay. Pay the trader, pay the mentor. Dude Tang, the crypto surfer. God bless you. Possible demand, diamond on ETH on the daily. And we got Toshi done there. God bless you, Cryptoholic Love. Thank you so much. Shout out to Billy Bob Lee Swagger. Shout out to Dude Tang, the crypto surfer. Shout out to Hugo Gomez. Possible diamond for ETH on the daily. Life for you, the man. Would you sell AERO now? It's up to you. I mean, it's at a pretty overbought area. But it's got to be completely up to you. I would never tell anyone what to do with AERO. I mean, it had a huge pump to 162. Crazy. Now it does look like it has to pull back. I'm looking for the bigger picture here for AERO on the longer term trade, but dang. That was a good sell up in that 160 level. Wow, like it came down hard since then. I mean, your 21 and your 200 are a little far apart. You went on a massive trend. It does look like you may have to come and test $1 one more time, or maybe just this area here. A little bit of support, but not amazing. You are on the 21. Bitcoin gets a bounce, and you get a bounce for the whole market, then AERO will bounce. I'm bullish on it either way, whether it makes a downtrending flag that bounces here and rips, or it makes a sideways flag. Doesn't really matter to me. I'm holding long term. But yeah, that was a pretty dang good sell. I don't know. I would not sell it now. No, I'm not selling my AERO. No. And so far, possibly sideways price action here for the NASDAQ. As again, we start to get, price action starts to kind of dwindle because of the lack of volume on a Thursday afternoon. You'll tend to see the same behavior over and over again if you trade the same days like I do on the same times over and over again. What happens on the day will get drilled into your mind. Eventually, you'll just be kind of stuck in what's going down. Can you take a look at Cope on Sol? God bless Sam and his family and the lifers. Can you take a look at, so we got to look at Filecoin and Camp. All right, let's take a look at Camp. Camp looks like it just came out on Bybit for the first time. Let me take a look at it here. Again, I'm getting different. Yeah, I'm not sure which camp is what, right? This one has the most liquidity. So it looks like it just came out. It's like brand new or something. I don't know enough about it. So this thing just came out. I'm not getting a lot of data on it. There it is on Bybit Spot. I mean, hey, it may be a new coin that continues to rip. I mean, at this point, it's just, you're just kind of, you either research something and know more about it than others and you believe in it. Then the TA will come into play later on. If you're waiting for TA, I think you got to put in a little more time to get the TA if you want to trade just TA. I can't tell you. It's very, very beginning. It's at the very beginning stages. Starting to look bullish to me. It's got a bottom. It's above the 200 on the smallest time frame that I can find with some significance. It's touching the 21-day moving average. Right? It's looking like a bit of a Adam and Eve that ripped, came back to support. Cup and handle in the bigger idea, and it could rip back up here. Looks like its next resistance will be 10 cents, and it could pump. I don't know. I'm not into it. I'm not going to be touching it. Sam, can you take a look at Filecoin? File, FIL, USDT, an oldie but goodie. Filecoin's been around a long time. Let's take a look at Filecoin. It's been a long time since I looked at Filecoin. It was healthy at $5-6. It's in the dumps. Compared to a lot of coins, it hasn't made any significant bumps. Like, it's not like Solana. Solana's strong, right? Like, if I put my money in Filecoin, I'd be sad. I don't like Filecoin personally. I think it's a trash coin. I do. I'm sorry to say, and I don't usually say, and I don't want to say that because there's a team of people that probably work for Filecoin, and that's rude, right? So me personally, not a fan. But again, God bless them, and I hope they do well. It's a great project. It's been out a long time. I'm just not. That looks bearish to me. So you're either at the exact bottom, which you've been at many times, only for like these dwindling little pumps. So fine, you pump back up again, and maybe you're calling the exact bottom, and this thing does a 10x. Or all the way back to the top again to like 100, and it does like a 50x. There's a chance it does a 50x. And then you're buying the exact bottom. If you believe in Filecoin, then there you are, but I don't. So, yeah, and I'm not putting down the guy who put on the super chat. God bless the super chat. Thank you. I'm just saying, in general, I'm all set on Filecoin. Yeah. It is at the lows. You would expect to bounce back up to resistance. It's done it every time. But, Can you take a look at Cope on Sol? Let's take a look at Cope on Solana. Going viral. Well, it looks like it is on the daily with that massive move. Looks like it already went viral. A lot of times when it goes viral, it's ready to dump on you. Like by the time we hear it, like we should have known about it before. Now, if it's bullish, then start flagging it out and get ready for the next projection. That's why you're not exit liquidity. You're just going to trade what you see. That would set it to a penny in 0.6 of a cent. It does have a very small market cap. So 70% gains to a penny and 0.6 of a cent. Yeah, worth putting on a watch list. Thank you. And that kidda pumped so hard last night. So crazy. MEOW. And it's holding a $2.8 million market cap. It's going sideways. 4-hour time frame. 1-hour time frame. Look at this. I mean, again, I don't know much about this. It's catching a lot of viral steam too. You look, it's got the Adam and Eve double bottom that we talk about a lot. Which is supposed to play out over time. Again, I'm very wary of these little coins. I've been doing the right thing, stacking my Bitcoin, stacking my Hyperliquid Ethereum and Solana, and just kind of like playing it safe, right? But eventually I will probably hit a nice swing, and then I'll take some gains from the swing and see where we're at. Another trade that I keep watching is the ZBCN network. I like calling it ZBCN. Just funny to me. I don't know why. But ZBCN network. Let's take a look at it here on MEXC. And again, this depends if Bitcoin stutter steps, which it looks like it may. Oh, we got the bounce. So you're telling me I'm back in the game again. This is crazy how much we've been jittering around today. And I still got faith that we have one of these. Because I've seen it all, everybody, so I can hang on because I've seen it. Like, I've seen it. It could happen today. The daily still looks good to me. We just need these small time frames to play ball. Let them press the liquidity button and let the liquidity fly. We're waiting on someone who's just not letting the money into the market for whatever reason today. They're trapping us. They're keeping us locked and loaded. They're keeping whatever's out there in there and not flowing any more money in just yet. You can see it. It's stagnant. Let the money flow, baby. Let the money flow. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for learning with the Lifer. Amazing day of trading. Amazing live stream. May God bless everybody here. I hope you took advantage of class. It's the least expensive way to learn what I'm teaching. I'm telling you right now. I've gone through the internet and figured it out. And you want direct, focused teaching, you could go watch. You could probably learn this stuff for free for sure. But you would sit there, watch tons of videos, try to put it all together, and I don't think you'd be able to see it the way I can serve it. So do yourself a favor and pay for the goodness and pay for the fast forward high step all the way to that education. Hit the QR code right there on top of the screen and it will take you, or hit the link below to take you to class. All right. And I will take you to class. No pun intended. God bless everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Thank you for all the super chats. I appreciate each and every one of them that came through. You people are absolutely amazing on the fan funding. May God bless everybody that jumped on in on the stream today and contributed their time, their love, their comments, or something like that. Yeah. Exactly. God bless everybody here on the live. Thank you so much for being amazing and coming on in to hang out with the Lifer. We appreciate you. We love you. My wife says thank you. My kids are very appreciative of everybody here. And remember, this is a small business mom and pop shop. We appreciate you all for coming every single day. May God bless everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Still in the Bitcoin trade. All full transparency. We showed you the trade the entire time, back and forth. May God bless you all. I'll be in the trading group doing exactly what I did, being transparent and giving you guys the sauce throughout the day. Thank you so much. I'll see you tonight for the weekly screen share. We work day in and day out, 7 days a week. May God bless you. Remember, you're not going to be great to start, but you got to start to be great. You got to start. The secret to success is getting started. Anyone that ever did anything great with their life, Michael Phelps started swimming in a pool one day. Tom Brady picked up a football and one day he threw it. It started somewhere. Everything starts somewhere. I did one stream, then two, and then here I am. May God bless you all. Thank you so much. What are you going to start today to change your life? The secret to success, you know what it is? It's getting started.